NBC Monday Night Movie will return following these messages.
One woman, the only witness to a brutal crime.
I saw the killer.
The jury will believe you.
It's him.
But the system failed.
You're in jail.
Not anymore.
And the killer has a new target, Patty Duke.
This is only the beginning.
One woman, one killer, and only one way out.
From now on, I'll take responsibility for myself.
One Woman's Courage, NBC next Monday.
Coming up on News Team 40 at 11, the latest from the village of Windsor, where an ice jam has triggered flooding, plus things every parent should know about keeping kids safe. At 11.
Imagine you were an automobile dealer. How would you do business? You'd build strong customer relationships. You'd surpass expectations for value, integrity, and competitiveness. And you would truly care. Owners would come back. They'd refer family and friends. And you would grow. You'd be called Scoville-Mino, the name that makes the difference.
Dozens of specially purchased new 94 Shadows are sale price from only $84.94 and just $154.24 a month. At Scoville-Mino, we're closer than you think in Sydney and Sayre.
If the very word makes your mouth water, has the Olive Garden got news for you. Like you've never had it before. Sensational seafood. Fantastic 5 cheese, hearty meat and sausage. Delicious spinach and mushroom, and our classic, cheesier, more flavorful than ever. Lasagna like only the Olive Garden could do it. Baked fresh every day. The Lasagna Lovers Festival, now through April 3rd.
Every year, thousands of children just like yours become victims. Protecting your kids means a lot more than just teaching them to say no to strangers.
We have to teach our kids the elements of society and what's going on out there.
There's something more that parents can do to help, and we'll show you how to protect your family. Join us tonight for Protecting What Matters Most on WICZ News Team 40, first at 5:30 and 11.
The passion, the emotion, the insight. The difference is Donahue.
Donahue, weekdays at 11 on WICZ.
Cracker Barrel Cheddar, winner of its 40th gold medal for full cheddar taste that comes from careful aging. But the biggest winner is you, with Cracker Barrel Cheddar from Kraft, judged to be the best.
WICZ TV 40, Binghamton.
Baby Brokers continues, starring Sybil Shepherd and Anna Maria Horsford.
The Jacksons, tomorrow at 9, 8 Central on NBC.
From WICZ TV. This is News Team 40 at 11. With Steve Craig, meteorologist Erica Boyd, and Rob Powers with sports.
Good evening. The warm weather this past weekend left its mark in the village of Windsor today in the form of flooding on the Ocanham Creek. Ice, which had broken free from the warmth, jammed up, causing the flowing water to find alternate routes. Several houses along the creek had water coursing through their yards, and some cellars began to fill as well. We get more on this now from News Team 40's Greg Hoadley.
Basically, Greg, what's occurred is what we're seeing throughout the county right now is that the ice is coming out of the creeks, is flowing down the creeks. Then when the creeks are emptying into the rivers, which are still frozen solid, it's meeting a blockade, and the ice is just backing up in the creek areas.
With Ocanham Creek jammed with ice, the water under the ice is finding new ways to flow toward the river, ways that disrupt people's lives.
At 4 o'clock this morning, the ice broke in the creek, and the ice came over the creek and was hitting the house. That woke us up. Well, the dogs did too. So when we got up, I was going to pull the van out, what she's doing now, but the water came up about 15 minutes, I guess.
Across Main Street, the water was flooding basements. Beverly Wiggins got a warning of the flooding by phone about 5 this morning.
Just started pouring in, and they're pumping and hoping that they can keep ahead of it, but they're having a hard time, the pumper is. So we're lucky that we've got this fire company to do this work for us. Otherwise, I don't know where we'd be.
Although Windsor is one of the areas with an ice blockade, it's not the only place in the county with a problem.
Right now, we're showing it in the Chokinut Creek area in Vestal. The Ballyhack Creek in Port Crane has got some small jams on it. Any place that the large creek areas are flowing into the river, that's where we're going to be having problems.
As you can see, this ice buildup goes on for as far as you can see from the bridge here. It's hoped that when the temperature begins to drop later today, the water flow will slow down. But who's in charge here? It looks like Mother Nature. Greg Hoadley, WICZ News Team 40, Windsor.
In the village of Mohawk, about 10 miles from Utica, ice jams behind a bridge there have caused a creek to overflow its banks and flood a 5 to 6 block area in the village. Folks in the area have been evacuated and power and gas are shut off now. A flood watch has been issued for that area. Forecasters expect, though, the threat of flooding to end in most places when temperatures once again dip below freezing. More from Erica in just a bit. The warm conditions put nearly 24 ice fishermen in danger today out in Ohio. The ice fishermen were on Lake Erie when cracks in the ice became too big to cross. A Coast Guard helicopter came to rescue them, but some of the fishermen headed back out to retrieve their equipment. One of the fishermen actually fell in the water but was rescued by a hovercraft. Fortunately, no one got hurt. Many of those who were rescued planned to continue their fishing later today. Greene Police Chief William Blake shot and killed himself over the weekend, just 4 days after he was put on administrative leave. That while state police and the Shenango County DA began an investigation into charges that Blake had done improper things. News Team 40's Darcy Fauci with more from Greene.
That the chief died as a result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The suicide ended a tumultuous week for Chief Blake, who was removed from office last Wednesday as the result of allegations of misconduct. Captain Molinari of State Police in Sydney would not comment on those allegations. He did say there are several people who come forward with information about Chief Blake. Where will the investigation lead now? Molinari says he's not sure.
Well, obviously at this point we have no one to now assign liability in that investigation. The district attorney's office has been consulted with. We're going to follow up a meeting with him tomorrow to see exactly where he wants us to proceed.
Greene's Mayor Kimber Madera would not comment on camera today, nor would he comment on the investigation which state police say the mayor asks for. However, he did release a statement which was written by himself and the village board. Part of that statement credits Blake for the contributions he made to the village police department and expresses sympathy for Blake's family. Residents of Greene we talked to today say while they'd heard stories about Blake, they all thought he was a good chief and a good man.
I always thought him as a gentleman, always clean cut, do anything for you. I've known just by here being around and seeing him around, and he's always been a gentleman. I never see him do anything out of the way. I've been into his office too. He's always a gentleman.
He was a gentleman all the way, a good citizen, and as far as I know, he was a man doing his job.
It made me cry. It made me actually cry because, well, like I say, I don't really know him all that well, but every time I saw him, he was always saying hi. He was always being friendly, and when I heard what happened, it was just like, took my heart right out of my mouth in a sense. And
Blake joined the village police department 11 years ago. His death leaves just one officer in the village. A search for a replacement will begin soon. In the village of Greene, Darcy Fauci, WICZ News Team 40.
Gunfire early this morning in downtown Binghamton. 2 people tell police that someone took a shot at them near the corner of Court and Carroll. No injuries, no witnesses, at least no cooperative ones. The guy with the gun is thought to have left the scene in a blue Dodge van. And an uncooperative victim in a shooting Saturday night. Police say the 29-year-old Tattoo Pittman